My parents did not admit I was their son for the first 10 years on TV, but I got so much TV time, I was a professional guest. Because they would, Larry King, Oprah, I think I did Oprah about 4 times, Larry King probably a dozen or two, David Letterman was saying, they'd call me when some big star canceled because they know I'm a camera hog. Are you going to give me 7 minutes of national airtime and not pay a nickel? I'm there, baby.
Welcome to another episode of From Startup to Wunderbrand with Nicholas Kuhner. Now, I always thought that I had an eccentric outlook on life and wore interesting outfits coming out of Nigeria and all of my dashikis. But I've finally found somebody who's more outrageous than me. And today I'm just wearing a little pin. I'm not wearing my lion or anything today. So we've got Matthew Lesko with us. And Matthew has had, he doesn't look it, but he's had 50 years of experience helping Americans access billions in government funding. So his specialization is on making sure all of these hidden treats out there in the grant system in America are available to you, our guests. He's had over 100 television appearances, Oprah, Larry King, Good Morning America, and has sold more than 4 million books. So he's obviously a great storyteller. And with a jacket like that, he's obviously jacked into modern times because it's some type of emoji. So Matthew, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, even though you don't want to talk about grants.
Yeah, grants are exciting, but you brought it up. So let's talk about it, because right now they are cutting. Well, as you know, they are cutting grants down like the Amazon forest right now. So I don't know how that's impacting your business, and how potentially you're now looking at your business going forward, and how you're going to help people look at new grants that are obviously going to come out. So how do you stay on top of what grants are up and coming, or what grants are not going to be chopped by this new administration?
Well, grants that are getting cut are just the ones you see in the newspapers that nobody, probably you and I know, will want them anyway.
Unless you like basket weaving for midgets, I'm not sure. Yeah,
and that's the important thing. The people come to town. I've been doing this for 50 years. I live in Washington, so I see these people come back and forth. And they come in the first 100 days, and they're going to do everything they say they're going to do, and they try like hell. And this guy's doing it because he's not doing it in a regular way. He didn't get his nose caught yet, but I don't know how many are really going to pan out what he says. And even the ones he says now are just so minuscule in the total amount of money that I just don't even worry about. So put your head down. If you really want grants, just ignore what they're doing, the other stuff that are there. And there's like 500 programs that do the same thing anyway. You just go to another one. But no, he's going to try to really change it. And to me, it's sort of like, I used to be in the Navy, a ship driver. Yeah. And we'd have to go on a course in the middle of, and out in the South China Sea, before there was Loran, you had to do the star stuff, with sextants. I was a kid, and they taught me that, and I really didn't know how to do it, but they thought I did. But see, if you're off a degrees in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the ocean, if you're off 1 degree, in a couple of weeks, you're going to be in the wrong continent. So 1 degree that it's changing now is going to mean something long-term, but not short-term.
So I'm just going to ask, you weren't the star of Moby Dick, were you? The original written version in the 1960s? No, that's a bit before you.
What?
So Matthew, you obviously take personal brand exceptionally importantly. And I've seen all of your photographs. They all have got outrageous poses, outrageous clothes, etc. And obviously America is known as, here in Norway, we say something is helt Texas, which means, that's totally Texas. That is, over the top and outrageous. And that could be ascribed to you. Talk to me a little bit about...
Is it a compliment or not?
It depends on the context. But Matthew, let's just have a look at...
Yeah.
You've had a varied career. I don't want to go through the minutiae of your career, but what I'm interested in is the longevity that you've had. How have you kept yourself motivated over these years? And when did you start taking your personal brand seriously versus trying to build a brand like an Apple or, a typical faceless corporation? Talk to me about brand, Matthew.
Interesting. I got an MBA after I was driving ships and starting businesses. It was in computers. I even had a software company down the 70s, and I was a coder and all this kind of stuff, and it was all failing. And I was doing everything everybody told me to do, or I was taught was going to be success, and it wasn't being successful, and I kept failing and failing. And I said, this is a stupid life. I'm doing stuff I don't like. I'm failing at it and just trying to do something. So maybe in 30 years, I'm going to be happy, and I'm miserable for 30 years. That doesn't sound right. So then I started trying to figure out, how do I have fun now? And when I started doing that, because I think fun comes from you, not from an expert outside. And that's where it is. I mean, I told you earlier that they asked me to talk about branding up in Harvard Business School. Well, I was impressed. I could never get into Harvard Business School.
They let anyone in nowadays.
Yes. And they expected to hear this long, drawn out, operation to do. And when I thought, fuck, no, I'm just having fun. And it's the heart. To me, what I learned back then after failing at everything is trying to look inside. And that's why your best brand, I think, comes, honestly, we go out and hire branding experts, right? And all these experts to tell us what to do. And what's the best thing we have to share with people is what's inside of us. That's unique, not trying to be like everybody else. And that's our gift to have as an individual, and as a lover, or even as our professional life to give is what's different. And we all try to be branding, like to try to be like somebody else. No. How do you be like what you really are? Because then that you could do better than anybody else. See, this is me inside. That's why I could do this. This is why I could wear it every day. This is why I dress like this every minute of my life. Because this is me. I want people to know me, what I am. Because if you think I'm an asshole, we're saving each other a lot of time. This is me. This is what you're going to get eventually. But if you like this, I know I'm going to like you. And then also from a marketing standpoint, what I learned quickly, I was starting, bootstrapping everything I was doing, and I couldn't pay for advertising. And I put little one ads in what my budget could be, and I did nothing or whatever. And I said, God, if somebody wrote me up, if I got free, instead of a 1-inch ad, I got a whole page written about me, and that cost nothing. And then media back then, when I was starting it, there wasn't as much, information or media as there was now. You got half a dozen TV stations and radio and stuff like that. And all that was entertainment. And I quickly learned that people in the entertainment business and have talk shows, they didn't care what you said. It was how you said it. And that's what they cared. So I started, I had books in bookstores, and I said, I got to get on TV and radio to do this. So I have to be entertaining. And I was a professor, and what I did in studying teaching computer science, I taught grown-ups were coming back to get their degree in computers. And it was after work, and I felt my first job was to keep you awake.
I get it, yeah.
And if I can't keep you awake, I can't teach you anything. Media is like that. If I can't get your attention, then I can't teach you anything. And I always had in my mind, okay, if I got on the Today Show and they said, next is Matthew Lesko to talk about government information. Well, I sort of see the whole country going to the bathroom to brush their teeth. Who wants to talk about government information? They didn't know who the hell I was or anything. So my theory was, I got to get you out of the bathroom. So when Jane Pauley or whoever the hell it was at the time would ask me about my book, I said, but did you know, Jane, you could do this? And so I see the people coming out of the bathroom. What is that asshole talking about? My parents did not admit I was their son for the first 10 years on TV, but I got so much TV time. I was a professional guest because they would, Larry King, Oprah, I think I did Oprah about 4 times, Larry King probably a dozen or 2. David Letterman was saying, they'd call me when some big star canceled because they know I'm a camera hog. Are you going to give me 7 minutes of national airtime and not pay a nickel? I'm there, baby. I'll do anything as long as I could get my story out. And so that was a gold mine. And many times I'd go and they'd put me out. Okay, let's go. You're going to be the second guest tonight. Someone like Larry King, they'll have an hour show. Half hour will be some big name star. And then they have a second banana in the green room for me.
I haven't heard second banana in ages. That's showing you that your shipping background.
And what would happen, though, they would ask the big star at the end of the half hour, hey, can you stay around for a long? Because they couldn't book them for an hour. And so I was there in case they said no. But I'd go home and they'd owe me one and I'd come back. So it was that. And then I saw that on TV that attracted people. Everything. I mean, even now, you see, I don't fall asleep when you ask me a question, yeah, because it's important to educate. And That's the only reason I'm doing this. At 81 years old, if I feel the same I did at 41, 31, or whatever, no different. Maybe a little wiser. It still is tough. I mean, there's no easy magic to everything. And I think if your heart is not in it, to me, now your heart is smarter than your brain. If you really want to do something in life, you could get all the expertise you want. I used to think that questions were the important thing. That's why I used to have question mark suits only. But now it's hearts that are more important, because if your heart's not in it, it's not going to happen. Anything you do in life is going to be a pain in the ass. That's what you're here for. You're here to be human. And life's going to beat you up if you're human. If you're not human, then it won't beat you up. It won't matter. But it is. So you have to get through a lot. And that's why I hate people say, and I probably even do the same, here's the 7 rules of success. There aren't 7 rules. Yeah. 13, there may be 1.5, and they were all different for everybody, and we're all different people. It's telling them, Petunia, this is how you grow like a rose, but I'm a fucking Petunia.
Now, you brought up a couple of points that I want to touch on, and one is going to be on the working age. You're 81 now. A lot of people now, I'm in my mid-40s, and I've only realized, oh, wait a minute, I've got another 30 years work or 40 years work ahead of me, because we're going to have to work until we are old and in the shade. So that's one thing. And maybe from your perspective at 81 now, doing the work that you're doing, looking backwards, what kind of things would you have perhaps changed in your attitude to work? Because I think that's important. Is it something that, like you said, you've got to have your heart in it. But if you're a working stiff, you're not going to have your heart in being an accountant and being an accountant. So that's one aspect. So I'm going to put that on one side. The second is that you say you've got a very outgoing personality. You've got your wild jackets and your glasses and your hair, etc. But what if you think you're just not that interesting and you're just going to fade into the background and you don't know what your special something is? Is that something you work on? How do you figure that shit out, Matthew?
Okay, couple things. I mean, come to my mind. We're all unique. I didn't know I was this weird, because we all go through the same process. Don't be weird. I mean, I was thrown out of so many classes, just trying to entertain myself. I hated learning. And we're all encouraged to model some version of success. That's it. So I think it's very hard. That's why I think failure is so important. That's what got me to figure out who I really was, because at least I'm doing what I really am. I'm having more fun than being miserable at being something that somebody else wants. So that's, I think, the hard point is to find. And you don't know what that is except through trial and error. And the one way I think to do that is, anybody says something's weird about you, that's what you grab onto. Oh man, that's weird. That may be your superpower. It may be weird to them. And you try stuff. Trial and error is like riding a bicycle. You don't get on that thing and take off. You're going to fall on your ass. We plan on all the steps for success, and we want to do that. We don't want to change something because we don't know what to do. You're right. You don't. But the only thing you know that's right is where you are now is wrong. That's all you have to do. You have to move away from that somehow. You see, I think we get stuck in the wrong place because we don't know what the right place is. You don't. You have to create that like an artist. We have to be an artist to our own life. And working long, I think, is a bad thought, not a bad thought. I haven't worked in 50 years.
You're cheating now.
That's great. But work is really giving. That's what we have. We have a personal life and we have a professional life. So I think that you don't want to love a little bit. You want to love hard, man. You want to, let's love and give as much as you can. Well, our work should be that way. Find something you love to, man. So you're giving as much as you can. It's not the going to the fucking dentist. And that's what we have to do. If you're stuck somewhere, okay, well, then you have to plan for that, to spend the giving as hard as you can, and have an opportunity to do that. I mean, you don't want to play basketball against a 5-year-old, right? You're going to win all the time. And that's what we look at work at. Oh, we just want to be easy and do nothing. And that's not growing you. And I think that's probably what makes me here to people. Looks like I'm growing, but I'm not. I'm the same person or whatever. But I'm trying so hard every day. And that's the joy in life, is using yourself. And how much can you love? How much can you give? Not how little can you A little could you? I mean, even our personal relationships are all with clipboards. Well, let's see. I give a little too much today.
You bring up a lovely word, which is the word called joy. And I really love the word joy because it's something that, as a Christian, our family has been brought up with that, and that you've got to go to work. You've got to treat everything with a sort of a joyful countenance and in a joyful way. And that goes into work. And when I go and teach my students, I go in as happy as I can because I want to infect them with the excitement and the joy that I have in terms of what I'm doing. When you started out wearing your outrageous outfits, people obviously laughed at you in a good way and a bad way. I mean, obviously different personalities deal with this in different ways. But how did you deal with the assholes basically who were saying, don't do that, you're going to ruin your business, you're doing grants, etc. You look ridiculous. Nobody's ever going to buy from you. When was the point when it shifted from, look, I'm going to try this for a month or two. If it works, great. Did you just carry on with it? Or did you say, this is it? Because surely there must have been a point where you thought, oh, man, this is not working, or man, this is working.
Yeah, I knew it's something I had to do. And I lost a lot of money when I did it. I would go down a place called Home Shopping. I don't know, it's QVC, this kind. You sell on television. I would go down there and sell 30,000 books in a day. It was bigger than Oprah for me. And I came down wearing the suit one day. Oh, you can't be on TV. And that was a big, big thing. And you don't get advice on those kinds of things. You don't get good advice, I think, from loved ones because they want to protect you and don't want to see you hurt. So, you swallow it and go there. It's their party, wear what you want. But this was something I think it was in me since 12 years old that I just felt I had to do. And I had to bite that, lost a lot of money, and really more came a year or so later. That was. The other thing that happened was being a guy in the United States, growing up in the 50s and 60s, everybody had to be John Wayne. This is what men were in the States. So my view, okay, I'm going to dressed like a clown and and expect the people to accept me. And the biggest fear is, all the macho stuff in our society. I say, oh, God, I'm going to have to defend my honor every other second or something like that. And I'm not that kind of guy. And I remember wearing it the first time walking through the airport. And every step was like walking on a crate of eggs, like I was going to break something. I mean, I was so self-conscious. It was incredible. And I'd show up for TV interviews with my suit and they'd tell me to go home.
No, really?
Yeah. But it was something that was really in me, and even the macho stuff. But what it turned out to that, the macho stuff really never happened. I mean, actually, it makes people smile. This is what the amazing thing. When I first started wearing, people would give me free upgrades on the airlines. I got free coffee at Starbucks. Everybody. And in the snobby places, it's like I belonged to a very high-end country club, and these people wouldn't talk to me. The staff loved it. They were fine. But when their kids would come and they'd say, Daddy, the question mark guy. Then this guy who was next to me in the shower for 30 years, I remember, wouldn't say boo to me. And now he becomes my best friend because his kid wants to meet me.
It's quite interesting because on one side, we are so terrified of what people's thoughts about us are or what their expectations are about us. And that often holds us back, like you said. And I'm sure most of the time you're invisible to most people because they're not thinking, wow, look at that crazy, outrageous person. They're probably just thinking, man, I forgot to fill up the car this morning. The milk's going bad. They've got their own things to worry about. And
that's true. We all think the world is looking at us. They're really not.
Yeah.
But
they're definitely looking at you.
Right. That's what I mean. And that now has become addictive. People treat me so fucking nice. They don't know what an asshole I really am at home. And it makes people smile. I mean, I go anywhere and I just get attention I don't deserve. And now when I see that for many years now, it almost becomes an obligation I feel. God, if I could put something I like doing and make people just somehow a little happier, boy, that's a cool superpower to do. I mean, what do I have something better to do than to help make somebody smile today?
Now, let's go back to real work, which is the PR side and the self-promotion. Talk to me about how to deal with these big interviewers. I mean, obviously, there's a big staff behind them. how do you make sure you make a good impression? And how do you make sure you don't, pardon the expression, but crap your pants when you get onto stage in front of the lights, cameras, etc., from the early days to how you deal with it now? What coping mechanisms can you share with us in terms of being interviewed by these? These are the biggest names in the world. Everyone knows those folks.
You have to play the minors and talk to somebody you never met in your life halfway across the world in an interview, and do as many of those as you can. Yeah, because you just play anyway. People, but you have to have a hook to make people interested. Yeah, and I think no matter what you're doing, I mean, if it's even about yourself, but if you have a company, then you have ideas. I think your story of success in your little company or what you've learned in your little company could really help people. And you have the 10 ways hot dogs will kill you. You're selling hot dogs.
Yeah. Mystery meat, yes.
And something, it's fighting for attention. And that's too bad. And that's what this is. And that's what I see. I mean, that's what I saw The Suit does. And people in the media love that. And back then, when I was doing a lot of this, it was channel clicking. You had 100 TV channels you were clicking through. So you see some idiot within a question mark, say, what the hell is that? And you stop. And so it's a little different now to feel good about. I mean, that's the other thing. That's why I think it's more about you and what's inside you. So people see that authentic passion. That's why I say about branding and all that thing, that comes to manufactured stuff. And this is me authentically inside. That I work. I mean, I had a committee to do this? No, nobody would tell me to do this.
Now, one of the points that you brought up that I just want to, because you glossed over it quickly, people who are very good talk show guests who are invited back and back are like comedians. They've got a routine. People know what to expect from them, and you know your shit basically. So you're not going on there going, okay,
no,
let me make it up on the fly.
I've written 50 books. And only 10 made money, by the way.
Congratulations on the 10 making money.
And I would work for an hour a year writing a book, and I would take a month to produce my acts to tell me, because I was using publicity to sell it. So I would have a 1-minute interview, I would have a 3-minute interview, and I'd have a 10-minute. After that, enough, you'll get all this stuff out. But the short ones are important. Then I would build up, okay, these are the 5 things I think are the best thing to sell about this book, the best important part. So you can't worry about the interviewer asking. I know interviewers that don't even know I wrote books.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to come armed with the 4 or 5 things are the best things about what you want to talk about. So that you get that in. You see politicians do that. They never answer questions. Why are we so poor? Oh, yeah, but did you know we do? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, they always drive it back to their point. And I think the pros always do that. And you can see somebody, I mean, those who've done communications and done it a lot, you can say, oh, good job. I see how you've done that. But that point about coming with your 5 prepared statements is absolutely essential. And I've seen it with people. I interview quite a lot of folks. Why I like speaking to folks who have authored books is because they've got their chapters and they've practiced their 5 things that they want to get out of the book. And I appreciate that, because then I don't have to have awkward silences, and they've got something, powerful to say versus like when I'm starting out, tell me a little bit about your background, or, how does, crap like that. So, and that makes people want to talk to you again.
Right. So that's why I think it's practice. And there's so much media now available to practice. And I'm not even sure that that's even better. Because also I find out that I'm doing it again, because I stopped for years and years doing it. But now it really is so good for me to hear what I say, to see you reaction to things that I talk about has really helped me a lot, instead of just putting out another newsletter, another short video, or whatever the hell it is. Yeah. The interaction, into smart people to see, oh, well, this makes sense. And it makes me because I've been doing this for 50 years, I put together other connections that I didn't even see. And that's where you're seeing it, and helping me do that.
Now, if I had to tell people the 5, and this is, hopefully you've practiced this, the 5 things we need to take away from talking to Matthew Lesko. It doesn't have to be 5. I'm sure you can, use your political skills, rhetoric skills to go around it. But, 81 years made, no problem. Look at that. I love it. Let's have a look at a couple of takeaways people should, you'd want people to have once they've engaged with you.
Well, I've been married 3 times, so I don't know if I'm interested in another engagement. But
Yeah, well, they've taken, obviously, a lot of takeaways.
To me, what I'm really into now is my heart. And I think that your heart is smarter than your brain. You have to use this in important decisions. I mean, like, what's the best way to get to New York? You don't need a heart for that. But what's the best job for you or a person or whatever? Your heart is more important than the experts. People telling you what to do in life don't even know what to do with their own fucking life. Be worried about what they tell you. There may be gems in there, but don't count on it all, because then you give up when it doesn't work. And the key to everything is you just have to plow forward no matter what happens, because bad stuff is going to happen to you no matter what you do. And if you're trying to do something new, then definitely you're going to run into trouble. And you have to get over that and keep going. And the other thing is, don't wait for perfect. There is no perfect, and that's going to stop you from moving. And that's the biggest sin. If you're uncomfortable, is not moving. You have to go forward, even if it's wrong. That will help you get to where it's right. Sitting there waiting for the right thing to do will never happen, because you don't know what the right thing is, and you have to sort of build it.
Well, Matthew, I love people who wear their heart on their sleeve, and you are somebody who physically wears their heart on their sleeve. For those who don't know, Matthew is a specialist in getting grants and finding ways to get money out of the system. So where can folks find out a little bit more about your interesting life? I see you on a whole bunch of social media platforms, so that's great. So they can see a little bit of you in the flesh. But what's the best place to get in touch with you?
Leskohelp.com. Leskohelp.com.
And that's Lesko help.com.
And I only got about 10, 15 years left, so hurry.
I love it. Well, Matthew, thank you so much. I'm glad we were both so well prepared for this interview. I think it went swimmingly, and I appreciate your time.
You're a joy, Nicholas. Let me know if I could help. Okay.
I really do appreciate your comments. So why not go and watch this live on YouTube, or go to my website, kuhne.no. That's KUHNE.no for more information.